What's up, guys? This is Dr. Chris Collier at Elite Chiropractic and Performance in Chesterfield, Missouri. What we're going to do in this video is just kind of go over what I think is the best way to foam roll or self-myofascial release the IT band. And this is kind of a hot topic because a lot of people say, well, why would you do it to begin with? And that's a good question. So the first thing we want to point out is, well, what is the IT band? So when I ask a patient about their IT bands, they either have no idea what that is or it's the bane of their existence. There's like no in between with these things. So the IT band is just a fibrous band. I got a really sweet tape job I did to the side of my leg here just to kind of outline it. But it's a fibrous band that starts up at the hip here and kind of coerces all the way down actually to about the outer part of the distal knee here. So this tape job is just kind of outlining, you know, it's a little bit thicker or wider at the top, and then it starts to dissipate and narrow towards the end here. So that being said, this isn't something that you can release or stretch or anything like that. In fact, the amount of force you would need to change the length of the IT band, it's something in like the thousands of pounds. Like, it's just not physically possible. So why would we want to do any self-myofascial release on it? Well, the thing is, the IT band, you got to think about the muscles adjacent to it. So on one end, you know, on this side of the tape, you got your vastus lateralis or your outer quad. So we find that we tend to build up adhesions and just sticky points within the muscle where the IT band and the adjacent muscle is, okay? And then on the other aspect of it, you got more of the outer hamstring group, aka like the biceps femoris. So it's not rolling the IT band that's going to get you anywhere. It's kind of coming off the edge of it to almost separate or pull apart as much as you can. And I think that's the best way to get results. The other thing to consider is where along the band you're going to need the most work. A lot of times it's kind of the lower third, closer to the knee. Now, and the most important thing is why do it to begin with, or why do you have to do it to begin with? Usually core and hip function are what drive this. So the TFL, this guy here, tends to dictate what the IT band does. So you can certainly do self-treatment on it. You can get treated in that area. But if you're not working on proper core and hip function, you're kind of beating up a bush that's just never going to get you any results. So what I'm going to show you is just how I would do a foam roll release with it, and then also use things like a lacrosse ball or AccuMobility ball. So using the concept of sliding off of it onto the adjacent muscle, I tend to like orienting a foam roller in a way that it's kind of inclined on one side so that it creates a down slope. And so what I'll do is with my left leg, I kind of work my way up onto it, and then let's say I'm going to work the hamstring portion of it. I first apply pressure here, and then I let the down slope of the foam roller let my leg kind of drag it across. So I'm like pinning it down and then pulling across. Then from there, I'll start to roll. So it's real important you apply that tissue slack with it. And I think elevating one end of the foam roller is a way to do that. And then what I do is I go up and down, I find some of the tender areas, kind of hold. And then I like to incorporate movement, so I'll start flexing, extending my knee. Same thing if I was going to do more of the quad area here. Same concept. Instead, I'm dragging this way, up and down. Now, with that, you don't need something to elevate it. The point is just having that tissue drag. Now, when I want to add something like this, it's the same concept. You're going to find the intensity of what you're doing is going to amplify a lot when you're doing something a little bit more firm and focalized. But same concept. So here's a lacrosse ball. I tend to first start on the band, and then I work my way off of it, and then I'll kind of come up and down. And then once I find a good spot, I'll either actively bend and flex my leg like this, or I'll have like some kind of strap, like a yoga strap or a belt that I can guide with my hands here. So a AccuMobility ball, these are nice because they don't slide around. They kind of stay in place here. So it works really well for this type of situation. So from here, Again, I'm at the lower part of it. I'm going to roll off of it so that I'm more onto the hamstring. And then flex and extend. So I'll work my way up and down on each side and just kind of go through some repetitions, maybe hold a spot here or there for 20 or 30 seconds, and then kind of eventually work my way all the way up to the hip. So I don't think rolling your IT bands is totally useless. I think it can help, especially if you're having a lot of knee trouble. But the big thing is, why is it bothering you to begin with? And that usually starts at the hip or core. So definitely get evaluated there and make sure you're doing all the right things there. So we got self-myofascial release via foam roller and lacrosse ball with like a tissue sliding effect. So go ahead and give that a try, see if that works for you. If it doesn't, or you got other variations that might work too, let us know. We'd love to incorporate them into a video. So I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.